with Villanova out, I think we're going to do right now is let's all replace our Final Four teams that are out.
Okay.
Or in your case, with you and Law, your final 2 teams and your final cutting down the net team. You've got a lot to replace at the Chris Command Center.
Ugh.
You and I, Del Tufo, have just 3. We just won.
Yeah. We
Final
just
Four
won.
team out.
Yeah, and I think it's the same bracket.
So you had Villanova out. Who are you going to replace Villanova with?
I'm taking Florida going straight in to play Gonzaga.
Okay, and then Gonzaga still to advance over Florida? Or you had Villanova.
I had Duke going to play North Carolina. So,
okay.
Ooh, that's a tough one. No, I think I'm going to take Gonzaga up.
Okay, so you're going to replace Villanova with Florida, and then you're replacing Duke with Gonzaga. You're going to take Gonzaga to go to the final game. Very good. What do you have over there, Law? Who are you going to replace?
Yeah, I have to replace my team out of the East, obviously, because that was my disaster bracket.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take excuse me, I'm going to take, in the East, I'm taking Wisconsin, actually. So Wisconsin's the team that I've been on them the past 3 years. For some reason this year, I didn't buy them over Villanova. I came off them. They have the most tournament experience. So I'm taking Wisconsin. I'm going to take Louisville with Purdue. I'm replacing Louisville with Purdue. I need that for my bracket.
So you're going.
So I'm doubling down, really. And I also honestly believe it. Purdue was a great team in the Big Ten. Their big man is a great story and could dominate. And then in the final, I'm going to slide in my team that I already had in the West. Arizona is going to replace. And I have UCLA winning it all.
So you had. Your original was to have Villanova win it all.
Yeah, my original
was beating who?
Villanova over UCLA.
Okay, so you're going to stick with UCLA, obviously. So you're going to take Wisconsin instead of Villanova.
But that helps you wear clown makeup if Wisconsin advances.
I understand that.
Oh,
he's just trying to give the people what he believes from here on out.
Yeah, I mean the experience of Wisconsin is unbelievable. Baylor's a good team. They obviously have a shot as well. South Carolina is the biggest wild card in all of this to me, out of that, and what they can do.
Well, I'll get to that in a second. Who do you have? So, what are you doing, Brockman? You need to replace.
Yeah, I'm doubling down on the clown makeup. So I have Wisconsin advancing to the Final Four. I have.
You had Villanova going in originally.
No, I had Duke winning the whole thing.
Right.
I had Duke
That's
advancing
right. Okay,
and winning the whole thing. So I have Duke replaced with Wisconsin. I have Louisville, which I lost, replacing them with Kansas. Again, doubling down on not having to wear clown makeup. I had Arizona to the Final Four originally. I still like them, but I like them now to go to the championship game against UCLA. And I like LeVar Ball and the UCLA Bruins to cut down the nets.
By the way,
do you think they'll let him cut down the nets if they win?
No way.
Why not?
They'll give him a pair of scissors.
He's single-handedly responsible for that team being turned around.
But just because
his son went to the college. You heard Len Elmore.
By the way, where's the mom? The mom is nowhere to be.
She's a former basketball player.
She doesn't want to talk.
I like that she's staying out of it.
She's
just let Dad.
Does Steve Alford announce on the podium that he's going to Indiana after if they do cut down the nets?
Do we have a Roy Williams situation if UCLA loses in the championship game? Remember when Kansas lost in the title game?
Oh, that's right.
He got asked about the North Carolina gig that was open, and he dropped an S-bomb on CBS.
Oh, yeah. I think he dropped it on Bonnie Bernstein.
Yeah. I don't give an S about North Carolina.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, he was at North Carolina.
Well, they will not let LeVar Ball cut down the nets. But if I'm not mistaken, isn't Arizona UCLA Timothy Oliphant's final too?
Yes, it is.
And Timothy Oliphant, if I chose his brackets
By the way,
instead of mine, he'd have 51 points. He'd be leading.
Gosh, he is dominating. So Oliphant has
Arizona and UCLA.
He has Arizona, UCLA in the final with Kansas also in the Final Four.
And he had Villanova?
He had Villanova beating Baylor. So he has Baylor beating South Carolina tomorrow.
Well, and so again, I'm going to stick with my 3 Final Four teams. I'm still taking Kansas to go cut down the nets out of the Midwest. How in the world do they lose in Kansas City? I mean, they basically have a home court advantage over the next 2 games should they somehow not succumb to Baylor. Not succumb to Purdue tonight. And then I'll still take Kansas to advance, even if they do take on my Wolverines, which is what I would absolutely hope is possible. And I'm going to stick with North Carolina going to the finals against Gonzaga. And I had Villanova losing to Duke, and I had Duke as the Final Four team out of the East in Arizona. And I'm going to replace them with South Carolina. I know, they lost 5 of 7 going into the tournament. And I know that they definitely had some wind at their backs, figuratively, because they played in South Carolina. They had a home court advantage in a way in the first 2 rounds. I just love what Frank Martin's selling. I think the team is buying it. I think that the team that they have out there plays all sorts of high quality defense. That all they need to do is just dictate the pace. And I think that they can win. I'm going to buy them. I'm buying into South Carolina. You don't just spank Duke just because people are rooting for you in front of you. I know that might be worth a few points here.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.